I know, no.
Definitely was like, why do you hate me? I don't know. I don't even know who you are.
All right, the time is 5:30 and this is a housing authority meeting. I'll open it up for public comment. Do we have any in-person public comment? Oh, I'll call this meeting to order. We have all trustees except for Tyler George. Is that helpful, Melina? Right. All right, do we have any public comment on Zoom? If you'd like to make a public comment on Zoom, you can click the raise hand button and we'll switch you to panelist. All right, seeing none, we'll close public comment and we'll move on to agenda item 2, approval of the September 22nd meeting minutes.
Any questions
or comments?
I'll make a motion to approve meeting minutes from September 22nd.
Second.
Great. Roll call, please, Melina.
Mr. Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Wakefield?
Yes.
Mr. Schifter?
Yes.
Ms. Gardner?
Yes.
Harper to Harper?
Yes.
And Prager?
Yes. Great. Moving on to the very exciting portion of our meeting, agenda item 3, 2025 waitlist drawing Anvil Townhomes ownership program.
Yeah, so your packet is out of order. So it goes to director's report. We're gonna skip that for now and come back to it later. So today, tonight we're gonna have 2 waitlist drawings. We received a total of 5 applicants. 1 applicant withdrew. 3 applicants were for 3 homes at 80% AMI. And 1 applicant was bedroom, 100% AMI unit. So we have 3 units at 80%, 3 applicants, and then we have plenty of available 100% AMI units. So right now, everyone's odds are looking extremely good.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
And so the process that we're going to follow tonight is the waitlist drawing procedure, which is in the Silverton Affordable Housing Guidelines outlined in your memo. So the steps of this process are the board will approve the official applicant list. We didn't receive any appeal or appeal requests. So if we had, we would have had an appeal hearing, but since we do not, we will approve the applicant list. We have a third-party volunteer who will review and assign entry numbers to each applicant. Melina will record it officially. I'll record it on my screen virtually. We'll put the balls into the spinner. We'll do the 80% AMI waitlist first, 100% second. So there'll be 2 separate drawings. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, okay, we'll have 2 drawings and then, sorry, complete brain space there. Okay. And this is just a reminder that admission to the wait list is not an official offer to purchase a unit. Buyers still have to go through the buyer approval process, which means their income calculation that I did will get reviewed by the state. Once the state approves, then the applicant will become pre-qualified for their mortgage. And then I will hand them off to our transaction broker. The wait list determines the order of priority to pick which unit you would like of the available units to you. And yeah, I just want to wish a congratulations to everyone who applied or was thinking about applying. This is a really big process. We try to make it as simple as possible. Unfortunately, buying a house is inherently complex process. And so kudos to everyone who took the initiative to apply, and really excited to have this first waitlist drawing for our townhomes. And thank you to Amanda Grimes, who is our third-party volunteer. She has no affiliation to the town of Silverton or the Silverton Housing Authority. And thank you for being here to support a transparent and fair process. You can come on up and join us.
Thanks, Amanda. Thanks for sharing your evening with us.
So let's start with a motion to approve the official applicant list for the 2025 Anvil Town Funds ownership waitlist drawing.
I'll make a motion to approve the official applicant list for the 2025 Annville Townhome Ownership Program waitlist drawing.
Second.
Great. Roll call, please, Melina.
Trustee Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Whitfield? Yes. Steve Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Gardner?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Harper?
Yes.
Mayor Craig?
Yes. It was very exciting. This is where everybody should be on a Monday night tonight.
Have the little bingo thing?
I know, yeah.
If people didn't already know that they had a spot, it would be a lot more.
Yeah. The anticipation. Yes.
Okay, so this is the entry list. So applicants applied to get bonus entries based on their employment or residence or qualifications. And so applicant 201 had 3 entries, 202 and 204 both had 4 entries. So this is the 80% AMI waitlist. And Amanda, you can draw 1 ball at a time. Each ball is 1 entry. Go ahead and read loud for the combination. Melina will write it down and we'll go until we've filled out this whole chart
Are
here.
we just gonna go from top to bottom?
We'll go top to bottom, 1 person at a time.
Okay, 65. 50. 60.
I feel like gotta get a picture.
12. 59. So exciting. 54. 46. Where are we up? 10. 25. 45. 70. Right.
Hey,
This is cool little things. All right. That good enough?
That was good.
Okay, great. 12. Should I put them back? No, on the side. It's on the side, maybe. I want to keep going. Yeah. 10. 45. 60. 50. 59. 65. 25. 54. 46. And 70.
One.
One more? Oh, no.
All of them.
Okay, that's all.
take your time, man. Oops. Or Jim, your screen looks like The Exorcist going on there.
It's all over the place.
We're glad you're here.
Thank you.
Congratulations to all the applicants. And 202 is first place, followed by 204 and 201. Okay,
Nice.
we can move on to the 100% AMI. This one is fun because only one applied. But we'll do the same thing.
Okay,
Yep.
One ball?
just one ball? Four. Okay.
They get 4 entries. We are following the
56,
letter.
43. And 30. All right. Got him here.
I mean, if Dean can post that on that, this is Silverton, I don't know.
It's okay. Are you ready? Yeah. Okay, 18. 56. 43.
Oh,
What?
they came out in the same.
Oh, really? Okay, that's funny. I wouldn't even have known. And then 30.
Great.
That's weird.
That's why we have third party, so. Good, anything. Great. Congratulations to applicant 203. Thank you, Amanda, for joining.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You. Thank you. All right. Anne, thank you for managing that process. I know start to finish, we're not there yet, but this is a big step in the process. And it's a really exciting moment to acknowledge all of the effort that's gone into this, to get to this point. So congratulations to those that are on the wait list. And, yeah, be exciting to see some homes inhabited.
We will have 5 more homes available for sale after this one. We will get into shortly. Next on the agenda is the director's report. The past 2 months have been really busy. That includes the successful delivery of 18 boxes for the Annville Townhomes over Highway 550. Special thanks again to the drivers, CDOT, Purgatory, and everyone for supporting the transport over the passes. Not only over mountain passes, but also during a major flood watch. So that was a big hurdle in our project, and we cleared it. And once the boxes arrived, my confidence increased that we would be selling these homes in a timely manner. And so that's when I felt confident developing and administering the application process. And so I developed the application process. I made it online, tried to make it as easy as possible. There's definitely still room for improvement. There's so much information related to these applications. And I think communication of that and synthesizing the information is what I will work on to make this process more approachable and understandable from the get-go. Homes Fund taught an in-person homebuyer education class in Silverton. We unfortunately had to cancel the class in Spanish due to low registration. The cost was just too much without hitting that number. Each applicant or registrant did get a free code to an online Spanish course. But I've begun conversations with public health to create a better interest and make it happen, because I think it's an important thing to happen. People were interested. It just wasn't quite enough to make it happen. And yeah, that's sort of the update there. We'll get into one of the agenda items tonight is changing future application processes to be a rolling application after we have this initial wait list drawing. Just so that we can keep selling these homes in a timely manner. And tonight, some of our for immediate trustee consideration is adopting our budgets for both the Silverton Housing Authority and the Anvil Townhomes LLC Fund. And then considerations for the grant for my salary, and we'll get into that later. Project updates. The ADU stock plan, plans. I've been working with Lucy on land use code amendments to qualify Silverton as an ADU supportive jurisdiction under SB 24-1152. And that was a piece of legislation that came out last year that required municipalities and jurisdictions over 1,000 people to update their codes to meet specific ADU friendliness guidelines. Since we're under 1,000 people, we aren't subject to this. However, there are benefits to being we can become a supportive jurisdiction. And the reason why we would do that is because they have grant funding that would help us bolster our ADU stock plans. The money that we received so far from CHAFA would only skim the surface of what our initial proposals were. And so becoming eligible for this money through DOLA would be huge. It's not only a benefit to town itself, but also to property owners in Silverton. So CHAFA, they haven't released it yet, but they're developing financing opportunities for folks who want to construct ADUs, because this is often a really big barrier to building ADUs. And so Lucy and I will be presenting probably in January what that looks like. They're really minimal adjustments to our land use code. It's already pretty ADU friendly, but it's specific lines of text that the state's looking for. And then I received a full ride scholarship to attend the Housing Colorado conference in Keystone in October. So thank you to Housing Colorado for the scholarship to do that. It was more than our entire training budget. So it was really awesome to network with people. I saw a lot of people from my executive certificate cohort, and it was just a great networking opportunity. Any questions from the director's report?
Was there anything from this process, and I'm sure you'll come back to us later too, just any summaries you have on like why we weren't oversubscribed, or it's still just we're finding that sweet spot on kind of the number of people that can qualify and the types of homes we have available?
Yeah, this was what I was expecting.
Yeah.
So that felt good.
Yeah.
I had a lot of interest. Ultimately, a lot of people found out that they're just not financially ready to own a home. And another one that's really tricky and that we have absolutely no control over is the state requires that the front end ratio for applicants needs to be exactly 35% or below. And so we had folks coming in at like 37, and that was with down payment assistance. And so obviously, while I like appreciate DOLA's goal of having that be 35%, because we want to keep housing costs low, when it's just a percentage or two over, that is keeping people out. And this is a brand new thing, and it's specifically related to Prop 123 money. I do know that there are some people across the state who are bringing this up to legislators, trying to fix this. But I think this is a really beautiful segue into the next agenda item, is just creating more natural timeline of connecting with people, going through mortgage options, down payment assistance options, what the application entails. And that would be done through like a rolling application process. So yeah, I think this is what I expected to happen. We are in negotiations with a local realtor in town to be our transaction broker. They're services donated in kind to be eligible for enterprise zone tax credits. But I think bringing a realtor on board will be huge in recruiting folks. But yeah, over the next few months, I'm definitely gonna bolster my marketing and outreach and try different avenues and finding different people. And I think removing the pressure of the deadline for the application, I think in itself will hopefully get some people to come back.
Mhm.
I will say most of the interest was for the 80% AMI homes, which I expected. At the same time, we couldn't find more grant funding to make more of them 80%. So
So is it fair to say that the folks that were interested in the AMI financially would have been in that category
mhm,
for the most part?
mhm,
Yeah.
close.
Can you clarify really quick, the 35% threshold, that's the amount of, like,
Housing, like
your housing costs can't be more than 35% of your.
and housing costs specifically is your primary mortgage payment, your interest payment, taxes, insurance.
Yeah.
And our HOA fee is only $25 a month. Total it's $60, but that includes internet. And that's a utility, so I'm pushing that out because it's not technically included in the front end ratio. So. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't put the 35%.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it was a huge success that we were able to fill what we were drawing for, so that was huge. And I was just curious the experience.
Yeah. I think I haven't had a chance to reach out to folks who I was speaking with before the application process who didn't end up applying. I'm gonna follow up with them and see, what happened and opportunities for improvement and.
Yeah. Thanks, Ann.
So on that note, I am proposing an amendment to the Silverton affordable housing guidelines to allow a rolling application after we have that initial waitlist drawing. I think the waitlist drawing is still super important because when you have multiple people apply, you need that to be a fair process. In my eyes, I feel like we've done our due diligence in creating that fair process. People got first come, first serve, and now we still have homes available to sell. And so it'd be a really minor amendment to the guidelines, but it'd be to section 107.1. Yeah, I'll open up to questions or discussion.
And so let's say like, we only had like one home to sell and we did the spinny and the person won, but there were 5 other people who applied, then they would just, okay, wait, sorry. That would, nope, never mind.
It would still go down the wait list. like,
Yep.
We exhaust the wait list.
Yeah.
That's a good clarifying question.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah. The rolling applications would only happen in the case where the home we're trying to sell didn't sell, if in the instance that it's one. In this case, it's multiple. Like it wasn't accounted for by the wait list.
yeah,
Right.
Have you heard from other communities that have done these processes, or are they always oversubscribed?
goes so.
Like,
That's exactly what happened in Pagosa.
yeah, and then they moved to a rolling application, yeah.
It makes sense.
Great, yeah. And I think you just let us know if you're running into issues, if all of a sudden, I mean, it's very sensitive to the supply and demands.
Yeah.
If you see things changing, then you can be like, oh, wait, I think we need to have a application and a deadline again.
In terms of your capacity, let's say like 20 people now apply for all these homes, you go one by one, right? Okay.
In order of receipt.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe I should clarify that.
Yeah, just to make sure you're not checking like 20 applications still for some reason.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I'm intending. Oh, yep, applicants will be reviewed in the order in which bid applications.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the Housing Authority declares we're in a wait list application process and drawing, or we are in a rolling application process and drawing. And these are the procedures that are rolling application process. These are the procedures that cover the wait list drawing process. These are the procedures that cover we're in a rolling application process.
Yeah. I think, I'm really excited about working with the local realtor because that'll go on to the MLS. And so it'll become much more popular, but at this point, we need to sell these homes. We're
Yeah.
sitting on a lot of debt, so.
Yeah.
And if they fit the income qualification, then that serves.
Right, it's just the marketing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any, well, we can address this as it comes, but I've been thinking about housing and as we're obviously hiring for a new administrator. Is there any world in which it would ever be an option for the town to purchase one and have it be deed restricted as a rental? Could that ever fit grant guidelines?
My gut instinct is no.
Yeah.
I think if we got into a bad situation
Mhm.
where these homes were not selling.
Yeah.
We could begin
Give that-
negotiations with DOLA.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to say no completely, but
Yeah, the first priority is
it is something that I think about too.
qualified applicants.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Other questions about the rolling application?
Makes sense.
I think the best marketing tool too is gonna be like building them, and I think that will build.
I know, I'm
Like,
excited. Yeah.
is next week still kind of the.
We'll
of that.
I have a meeting on Wednesday with the team. I don't know how much this weather impacted our timeline. But it sort of needs to happen next week. Set them.
Sort of the only benefit of the delayed start to the snow.
Yeah.
A lot of time to work.
Yep. So we will see. I will let you all know. I think it'll be really cool to watch them. Set the unit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or I won't want to watch. I don't.
Weight the roofs will take on those buildings with that plastic wrap?
As they are
The
now.
boxes?
Yeah, boxes.
I don't know. I do know that they sometimes overwinter in Buena Vista. So they have been snowed on before, but I don't know the exact answer. I can look into it for you.
Yeah, I mean, we may need to have somebody clean the
Mhm.
top off, get a lot more snow.
Yeah, the roofers are supposed to get here this week. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I know.
We'll keep it going and
One day at a time, everybody. But yeah.
an accomplishment.
Yeah. No, I'll make a motion. Sorry. I was like, oh yeah, I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2025-11, a resolution of the Housing Authority of the Town of Silverton, amending the Silverton Affordable Housing Guidelines, section 107.1.
Second.
Great, roll call, please.
Trustee Roberts.
Yes.
Mr. Wakefield.
Yes.
Mr. Schiffern.
Yes.
Mr. Gardner.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Harper.
Yes.
Printer.
Yes. Great. Okay, next agenda item. Okay, now this is a public hearing. So the way it will work is that we will open up the public hearing. We will hear from staff. We will take public comment and then we'll have trustee discussion and deliberation. So public hearing for resolution 2025-12. Great, go ahead, Anne.
This is a resolution to the 2026 budget. Okay, so these numbers haven't changed since the first Town of Silverton budget hearing. What the difference is between this year and last year is a lot of reclassification of grants that were awarded to town. But since I administer them, we put them under the housing authority, but that wasn't the thing to do, so we moved them back to town. So that includes both the revenue and expenses of these grants. So, one of those is More Housing Now, which is our boxcar grant. The local planning capacity grant, which is supports my salary, that moved to the community development department. And so really what we're looking at in our budget is operational expenses and any grants that the housing authority receives. We have a new line item. I'll update the GL code once it is assigned. That's just general operations. So I've found that there's a need to have a subscription to translators so that I'm not hand translating every piece of information that I publish. Accessibility requirements from the state, printing, et cetera. Pulled out Anvil Townhomes project expenses when we created the Anvil Townhomes Fund this year. The thing that you will see under our expenditures is our capital outlay. Anvil Townhomes construction line item is transferring any grant money that the housing authority received over to the project. I want to point out about this budget is that we don't have funds really set aside for future projects. There's a lot of excitement at the beginning of this year about, preservation of existing affordable housing, rehabilitation, sort of taking advantage of our existing housing stock. Really, we don't have a sustainable funding source, and that inhibits our ability to sort of squirrel away money for these big projects. So when I look at this year, I really look at where my time is going, which is it'll be a lot of Anvil Townhomes still, and then focusing on ADU. And these are our priorities of our work plan. The more like preservation stuff was at the bottom and I couldn't get to them. I think I did do a lot of research about funding sources. And at the end of the day, we are extremely limited as a statutory town. In fact, we do not have options as a statutory town, as far as I know, and could find. So our options are becoming home rule, which, maybe one day. Other options are multi-jurisdictional housing authority, and that would allow us to have a short-term rental tax. The hurdles with that is becoming a multi-jurisdictional housing authority, A. B is that initiative we have to go to ballot, and the voters could vote that down. That's not guaranteed, and I don't know if it's the right thing for our community either. Eventually, we could try again to set up an IGA with the county for an annual stipend from the lodger's tax. And then we'll get into the Anvil Townhomes budget next. We may have some money left over at the end of this project. That could be money for future projects or salary. But I don't want to guarantee anything, so I did put that in this budget. I think eventually owning some sort of rental complex could be a revenue stream for the housing authority. But I think this is just a hard organization to run. We've done an incredible job. Kudos to you all. And everything that we've done. We're making it happen somehow. Like we don't have so this is a funding source that we're making it happen, but that just means that like the sustainability of this organization is unknown, and that's always been its case. So, yeah, what you have in front of you is a balanced budget. I think that is all I have for my presentation, so now open it to public comment.
So this is a public hearing, so we'll now take public comment on the budget for the Silverton Housing Authority. We don't have anybody in person. Is there anybody online that would like to make a public comment about the budget, adopting the budget for the housing authority for the town of Silverton? If so, you can raise your hand and we'll to the panelists in 3 minutes. I don't think if it's okay with the board, we can do overall. Great, seeing none, I'll close public comment. So questions, comments, deliberation from the trustees. Like statutory towns that saw this conflict and conference that. Like where, what was their way to move forward or any sort of?
I go to a housing peer exchange webinar once a month. There's one of the topics was like sustainable funding sources. And it was a beautiful presentation from all these different communities, and then some watched it after the fact, so I don't know who made the comment, but someone was like, does anyone have any suggestions for statutory towns?
It's, yeah,
Yeah, and I have a meeting with Lake City and Hinsdale County Thursday. They're interested in doing what we're doing. I'm gonna be very candid and say it works sometimes for a limited amount of time, but yeah.
yeah. Just thinking, looking at this, and Jim, I know you're on and can hear us, and I was thinking about the work session that we went to in Glenwood and all of the planning and stuff, and just thinking where we are now. So I think we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that, like, no matter what, homes have been built and bills been annexed, like people are getting housed, and so we should celebrate that huge success from kind of where we came from. And we always knew that sustainability was challenging, but in my mind, it was never a reason not to do this work, right? If we knew we could do this work for a bit, and Anne has like pushed through every barrier to make homes exist over there, I think it's been really worthwhile. And so I think this challenge is to really kind of figure out what does this mean for the town and or for the town's budget, right? Like towns invest in all kinds of things. And so our budget is kind of a prioritization exercise. And so I think it'll be kind of those conversations going forward around what does this look like and what are the different funding options. And we get so many kudos regionally for the work that we're doing. And so I think continuing to show that we can be creative, snappy, and we're invested in this will be helpful. We're probably going to have those hard conversations around like, where does this come from in our budget?
And get it into this agenda item 8. But I have funding for my position through the end of next year. We'll discuss the match options. To see how long we can hold on to it, but this isn't the end. But it is, I feel like I see it as, wow, we somehow made it another year. That's awesome. Hopefully next year we can figure out how to keep going.
Questions on the budget? Okay, well, I would entertain a motion to adopt. Motion. So moved. Okay. Okay, well, help please, Melina. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
And again, just to clarify, resolution 2025-13. All right, thank you, Anne. We're now moving on to resolution 2025, or that was 2025-12. This is 2025-13. The resolution of the Housing Authority of the Town of Silverton adopting the budget for Annabelle Townhomes LLC for the fiscal year beginning January 1st and ending December 31st. This is also a public hearing? No. So, it's a project budget. Yep, yep. Yeah, yep. Technically, Housing Authority is the manager and sole member of the LLC. And so we're adopting this budget on behalf of the LLC. So our interpretation was that this did not need to be a public hearing. This fund will live in the town of Silverton. It will be adopted, same with the housing authority, it'll be adopted with the town budget, but this is administrative process for the housing authority as the LLC's owner. Okay, so this budget pretty big. But this is not much different than budget we adopted for 2025. Due to project delays, spending and revenue has been pushed back. And so now we're straddling 2025 and 2026. Biggest notes that I had here for that the total loan proceeds are below the authorized loan amount of 2.9 million.
Pause for just a second. Yes, as of the auditors.
Okay, so the total project budget includes a really healthy contingency as of now. And so there is a possibility that we'll have some cash at the end of this, which would be wonderful. At this point, I can't guarantee anything, but this could be good news for us. It's more like housekeeping of moving GL codes based on where they belong. Any transfers for grants, like no grants have been specifically awarded to the LLC. So they go to the housing authority and then they come to the LLC through the housing authority. So that's where this revenue line item comes in. The ending fund balance of this year is negative just based on the timing of our construction loan draws and the end of the year. But we will catch right back up, especially as we start to sell these homes. Any questions?
Again, we've managed to do like a $4 million project.
Good job. Like say we.
Yeah.
You guys trusted me.
Questions on the budget? All right.
I move to adopt resolution 2025-13, a resolution of the Housing Authority of the Town of Silverton adopting the budget for Annville Townhomes LLC for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2026 and ending December 31st, 2026.
Second.
Win. All right. Seconded by Jim. Roll call, please, Melina.
Yes. Mr. Whitfield? Mr. Schuster?
Yes.
Gardner? Yes. Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Okay,
And
we're on to our last agenda item. Good job, everybody. So Town was awarded a grant in 2024 to cover 2 years, 50% of 2 years of this position's salary. This position is located within the planning department and contracted through an IGA between the town and the housing authority. So I'm not employed by the housing authority, I'm employed by the town. Since this money is Proposition 123 money, and we opted into Prop 123, we were required to adopt an expedited review process in our land use code for affordable housing. We adopted that process, or that ordinance, prior to the DOLA deadline. So they gave us $50,000, which is wonderful. And that's a supplement to the existing grant. To accept the donation, we have to amend the original grant agreement. And this is an opportunity and a required opportunity for us to readjust the match ratio. So the way that I started this grant, or charging to this grant in April for my time. The town has pledged 85K. DOLA has pledged 85K plus that 50K. And the year one is considered spending $0 to $85,000 between grant funds and town funds. Does that make sense? Pretty confusing. It was for me. So once we spend $85,000, we're effectively halfway through the grant agreement. For that first half, the match ratio was the grant would pay 75% of my salary. Town would pay 25%. Once we hit that 85,000, it switches to town pays 75, grant pays 25. When we were awarded the 50K, I assumed that it would just be like a check for $50,000. Not what happened, or that's not what's gonna happen. We're gonna have to buy it down through each request for reimbursement, which is a monthly thing. And so the way that I budgeted when we first did the draft of the Town of Silverton 2026 budget was using that assumption that the 50K would come just as a flat check, and that was my mistake. So I've presented options for the town match. Since I shared this packet and I really thought about it today, I realized that since we've already have a balanced budget from the first budget hearing, either of these match ratios, either the 75-25, no change, or the 50-50 split that I'm proposing, both of those are below what we budgeted for revenue. And so I am presenting a third option on the fly. And let me pull that up real quick, actually. And that would be,
Can you make it bigger?
Yeah.
Sound. Thank you.
it's the same. It's the same that what we have in this first year. So grant is paying 75%. We're paying 25. We're just gonna request that we continue that. And that would draw into the 50K. These
I
numbers,
guess our grant match would be from the 50K.
pretty much, yeah. It's a good way of thinking of it. This was quick math that I did an hour ago, so it's not right and it doesn't add up, but what we're looking at. But if we look here, or spent in 2026, sorry. This is the amount we budgeted for revenue from this grant. This is 75%. And this is how much town would be paying. And this includes all of my benefits. So this is health, retirement, everything. What I liked about the 50-50 split was that made it through 2 more years, town commitment would increase each year. But with this, keeping the 75 grant, 25 town, it kind of knocks us out after 2026. We'll have some, 2027, but not all the way through 2027. I didn't calculate how far into 2027 we would get. What I do know is that money for this grant, the local planning capacity grant, is a pot that gets replenished every single year. And I have a feeling, and this is also what I've heard, is that this money is really helpful right now for people. There's a lot of pressure for municipalities to address their affordable housing needs. There may be a time, and I think we would make a fair argument in saying this money would be well used to support towns who cannot fund themselves sustainably for affordable housing. One of the goals of this grant agreement was for us to find a sustainable funding source. We haven't found it.
We've sure
I
tried.
don't think it exists. And so, I haven't had a no or a yes either way of if we can apply for this grant again in the future. That is my strong hope, is that in the future we can reapply for this grant.
Not guaranteed.
So I think what I'm looking for this evening, and technically this is a town thing, but since we're adopting town budget on a week from today, I wanted to bring this to you now. Because in that packet, we're gonna have an amendment request letter to change that match ratio and to accept the money. And so I think the direction that I'm looking for tonight is to draft an amendment letter, readjusting the match ratio to align with our 2026 town budget as is. Because I don't really want to go messing around with the balanced budget as it is. But I realize that, I gave you maybe a sense of false hope by proposing this 50-50 split. That's how it felt to me. It's like, wow, this is sustainable actually for a couple more years. But that was a lot. Let me know if you have any questions or require clarification.
There's nothing in the grant agreement that would prohibit us from continuing this funding longer, like we don't have to spend it by a certain amount of time.
It does have an expiration, but almost every grant that we've had with DOLA, we've amended the expiration.
Yeah, so any of these scenarios could apply.
But so right now we have $62,000 budgeted in revenue from this local planning capacity grant for 2026. So if we look at the 50-50, that's $10,000 less. And so we'd have to go and find $10,000 somewhere else in the budget. And Melina and I don't really know where that is. So we could try.
Okay, so wait, so stepping back for a minute, basically what we're saying is with this $50,000, we kind of have the option to spread it out over multiple years or to apply it in earlier years. And if we apply it sooner, if we spend it sooner rather than later, then obviously we have to find that money for the Silverton Housing Authority in subsequent years. But if we spread it out, we have to find money in our town budget this year or 2026 year.
Like there's not much room in our budget this year to play around with it,
Right.
fortunately.
It's just kind of a deferred cost. Cause it does, I mean, it sort of seems like the goal of it seems like the state's trying to move these positions to a more sustainable funding source, which is theoretically a local municipality, right? So it's sort of just delaying the cost to another year, really? With some risk?
Yeah, I'm trying to wrap my mind around, for $10,000, do we get this position for another year?
I gotta figure that out. My calculations are off.
I'm wondering too, because it seems like $10,000 is a not huge investment to keep this position solvent for an entire another year. Because we'd eventually have to pay something for this role,
Right,
so.
if it's gonna continue or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, our goal is to continue it, right? Like, our goals are priority is affordable housing. This is the way to do it. I know the budget's tight. It just seems like a smaller investment for something that the community desperately needs.
And it gives us one more year to figure out the funding source.
Exactly. That's
Or find the next grant, or, yeah, that's the math. I'm trying to think through the math of, it's a cash flow problem. Right? Like, do we have the cash today, or do we have the cash for the 2026 budget? I know Melina's shaking her head. I know.
Can we make an amendment later when we see if we have, how we're doing financially?
What's the deadline for how can the grant be amended?
January.
One?
Let me look.
But it's not far enough into like the year that we would. Right, if it was August or something like that.
The amendment request by January 21st.
Okay. I mean, we get final numbers for like December revenues. Right?
Melina, is our budget picture looking better or worse for next week than you?
About the same.
About the same. Wait, and then this, because the 75-25 match,
The first one.
the first one,
That one we can't afford this year.
yeah.
Yeah.
That one's off the table. We have to make a change, and it's either the 50-50 or
25-75.
And any of these are allowed in the grant.
potentially.
Do you still have to ask about the third option here?
Yeah, I guess like a question I would have is this a given? Do we have to do the 50-50 or, like? Uh-huh.
My understanding is that the $50,000 does not require a match. So long as we meet our original match requirement of the grant, which is at $85,000 compared to their $85,000, we should be good.
Good
Should be or will be good.
to.
I don't have confirmation from DOLA that we can do the 25-75 split.
Match to grant.
25,
Yeah.
the town pays 75, the.
Town pays 25.
Yeah.
Right now.
Sorry.
Right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have confirmation, can we use the local capacity grant as the match? Like that's true.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. The good follow-up question, but I think, yeah.
Yes, and
Oh, no.
that's the first question that I have is, can we use the $50,000 from the local planning capacity grant as a match at all? Or does it have to come from the towns?
It's grant awards. It doesn't require a match, but it
But
can be used as.
It can't be used,
But it doesn't require a match.
but like the money is kind of fungible, right? Like not completely.
I guess that's the question. It's
Yeah.
how much flexibility is attached to it.
I mean, it can be used as our match, but we can adjust the ratio. I think you're looking at it. You're close. Like the $50,000 allows us to increase the grant percentage and decrease our match percentage
Mhm,
to a certain extent.
mhm. So that it kind of is our patch. Okay, I'm just looking at the budget again. Is it in the budget? Not really. In what's the line item amount in our current draft of the 2026 budget for
62.
the town's contribution is 62?
Oh, Melina, could you help us?
And that is, where do I find that?
Community develop, no.
It's not,
It's
it's,
fund summary,
yeah,
intergovernmental revenues.
yeah. Okay, so the town is already putting 62,000 and remind me the various ways we're funding that. Some of that is just general fund funding.
That 62,000 is the grant funding that I said was coming in next year.
Yep,
My salary is 62K. My benefits are 15K roughly. So my benefits have always been paid by the town as a match.
Yep.
And then eating a little bit of each of my paychecks too.
Yep.
Most of it has been coming from the grant.
yeah. So when you're talking about like the 50-50 split, and you're talking about the town match in 2026 being 44,000, no, the town match being the 31,000.
Mhm.
That is,
Benefits plus a little bit of.
right, so that'd be like, we're already contributing 15, and then it would be the difference between the 31 and the 15 on top of that. Yep, okay, I'm with you, thank you. Mhm.
And the entirety of that money is due January?
We have to submit our amendment request
Okay.
by January 21st, which says we accept this money and we want to change the match ratio to this.
Mhm.
So what we've already committed as just a general line item is 15,000. So really, to get us to the 50-50 split would only be 6. If the 50-50 split means that the town would need to contribute 31 instead of 15. Am I thinking about this wrong?
So we've already allocated 15. We need to go find 16, is what you're saying?
Or right, we need to go find 16. Sorry,
Right.
yeah. Thank you, Jim.
16,
Thanks
470.
for
Yay.
correcting.
So not
Yeah.
10, 16.
Right.
That sounds right.
Which is 6,000 less than if we keep the 25-75 split.
Can you go down to the 25-75? Well, and maybe you don't want to show up.
Or the 75, I don't know.
I know, just.
It's like the 75-25. Sorry.
I feel good about
Alternative A.
getting these numbers. I don't trust, but
Yeah.
these ones I feel okay.
Okay, so just to summarize, we have to do a grant amendment regardless, and we have to revise the grant match. The most favorable option for our cash flow for the 2026 budget for the town is the 25-75 split,
Mhm.
obviously. And in that scenario, we need to find $5,000. In addition to the 15 that we already have committed. Like the current 2026 budget for the town commits $15,000 cash, I'll say.
Yeah,
And we would need to get to 20, is that right? Or 2641?
it's a good question.
So I guess the question I have is our current line item for what we have in the budget for the town right? So that's one question. The other question is, will the grant agreement allow us to do the 25-75 split? And then the third question would be, doing the 25-75 split now benefits the town's cash flow right now. It looks like from your numbers, and the 50-50 split benefits the sustainability of the housing authority for one more year. Do you think that's a true statement?
I think honestly, when we get to the end of 2027, I think I personally would feel more comfortable going with the 25-75 now. Because that's what we have budgeted. That, what we have budgeted depends on this 25-75 split. So. we're
Town
running
budget or the housing authority budget?
Town budget.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
And that basically just means that then we have to expect to spend more in 2027. A little bit more.
And so why are you feeling more comfortable?
Because I don't want to touch the budget.
Okay. Well,
Well, yeah, there's not a lot of wiggle room, like.
Yeah, okay, because
Yeah.
looking at the difference in numbers, and I don't trust these numbers, so I don't feel comfortable being like, we need to go find exactly $16,000.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Right now, I have a big spreadsheet, but I don't want to pull it up right now.
Yeah.
Like. It's so close. Like, no matter what, at the end of the year, next year, we're gonna have 100K for 2027. Whatever we have left at the end of 2027, I don't know, because my math is off here, but I think both options get us through 2027. I think that gives us more breathing room. Figure out. Like, I don't think we need to make drastic cuts or drastic commitments this year.
okay.
I also think it's good to note the bullet point that neither of these projections include a raise.
I was just.
20.
Yeah.
I think in our
Yeah,
compensation study, this would not match up.
Yeah,
yeah, we need to look at that.
yeah.
Since 2023, really?
I can't, and I don't remember, Jim, I don't know if you remember either, if we had the housing authority director position as part of the compensation study.
Sorry,
I don't
I
believe
think-
we did.
Mhm.
Because not all the municipalities that we had discussed in that spreadsheet had this position.
I think I was basing that comment off of what I saw of like public works director, community development director, like the director level positions were significantly more.
And I think community development director is like a fairly good analog, right, for kind of level of.
I think this is a more executive position.
Yeah,
That's what I would argue.
yeah.
So, okay, but we need to put a pin in that. So What I hear you recommending, Ann, is that you'd like to go back to DOLA and ask with the grant agreement if we can do the 25-75 split.
Mhm.
Where the town's matches 25% commitment.
And if they say no, does that mean we have to do the 50-50?
Yeah,
Okay,
and then we'd have to figure it out somehow next.
so we would just need to know what that final number is.
Yeah.
Go find some money somewhere.
Where's that random bank account, right?
Bake sale.
Well, I went back and I looked and because we didn't do a ballot initiative, it was $32,000 that we lost.
With the
In
property tax
Yeah,
change.
in taxes, so.
Well, maybe all those property owners who got a rebate on their property taxes want to donate some money.
Yeah. Yep, I thought that was just kind of funny.
Donate to one of our lovely nonprofits or the preschool. You got property tax. Okay, so does that feel like, okay, do you feel okay with staff direction? Board?
Mhm.
So then by Monday, we will have one or the other scenario. The staff recommended scenario is the 25-75. If that's not an option, then we will have other numbers that present the 50-50 scenario,
Mhm.
right?
Are they being really responsive to you when you?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. All right, well, I would open up for public comment at the end. We can have closing public comment because I know there are a couple people online. There's nobody here in person, but if you're online and you want to make a public comment about anything that was on the agenda or another topic, feel free to click the raise hand button and we'll promote you to panelist. Okay, seeing none, we'll close public comment and we'll adjourn the meeting. We will be calling an executive session at 7 o'clock. You can tune in and see us call it, and then we'll ask you to get off. So there will be another meeting at 7 o'clock, but it will be an executive session. All right, I'll adjourn the Silverton Housing Authority meeting. 6:45. All right, Jim, can you hear us okay?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Great. So the time is 7:03. This is a special meeting of the Silverton Board of Trustees. I call this meeting to order. Roll call, please, Melina.
Trustee Halverson. Here. Trustee Wakefield. Trustee Schnitger.
Here.
Trustee Gardner.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Harper.
Here.
And Cranker.
Here. All right, I will now entertain a motion to go into executive session pursuant to 24-6-4024 FCRS Personnel Matters Evaluation of the Town Administrator Position Candidate Application to select the finalists with recruiters KRW.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Amy, seconded by Lindsay. Roll call, please.
Trustee Halverson.
Yes.
Trustee Wakefield.
Yes.
Trustee Schnitger.
Yes.
Gardner.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Harper.
Yes.
Yes. All right, the motion carried. When you are ready, or we lost our screen, and if you are a member of the general public, if you're not one of the trustees or recruiter, we ask you to get offline, and otherwise we will promote the recruiters to panelists. And